Our story begins on March 23rd, 1994, on Aeroflot Flight 593 headed to Hong Kong, flying from Moscow, carrying 12 flight crew and 63 passengers on board. This was just like any other day flying internationally. Co-pilot Yaroslav Krudzinski and pilot Andrei Danilov, as well as first officer Igor Piskaryov, were in charge of Flight 593. The pilot and co-pilot were very experienced, with Yaroslav having more than 9,000 flight hours logged and Andre having over 9,500 logged hours. This was a special day for co-pilot and his two children, Elder and Yana Krudzinski, as they were on the flight. As everything was just a regular flight for these two pilots, about 4 to 5 hours into the flight, the main pilot, Andrei Danilov, decided to leave the cockpit and rest, leaving Yaroslav Krudzinski and First Officer Igor Piskaryov in charge of the aircraft. There was not much going on, and the plane was left in autopilot. With the plane in autopilot, cruising near the Kuznets Alatau mountain range, co-pilot Yaroslav Krudzinski decided this was his opportunity to give his two children the memory of a lifetime. He invited his two children to the cockpit. He first let his daughter, who was 12 at the time, sit in the cockpit and allowed her to touch some controls to let her feel as though she was flying, with Yaroslav making slight adjustments himself to push the experience for Yana even more. Now was the time for his son Elder, who was 15 at the time, to experience the same thing. Unfortunately, this is when things took a turn for the worse. His son touching the controls, having an unforgettable experience, ended up pushing too hard on the control column, thus disengaging autopilot, leaving 15-year-old Elder in full control of the aircraft. At the time when the autopilot disengaged, there was a silent warning which appeared on the flight deck, but neither First Officer Igor or pilot Yaroslav realized the warning. When autopilot disengaged, the force of which Elder was pushing the steering column caused the plane to veer sharply downwards. Realizing the grave mistake he made, Yaroslav can be heard on the flight recorder telling his son, "Elder, get away, go to the back, Elder. You see the danger, don't you? Go away, Elder. Go away. I tell you, go away." Panicked, co-pilot Yaroslav and First Officer Igor quickly attempted to regain control of the aircraft. They ended up successfully getting the aircraft out of a dive position, but overcorrected it too much. So much so that the plane was climbing almost vertically, which caused the plane to stall, as the plane was not meant to handle such sharp turns. This stall resulted in the plane to start spinning and dropping back down to the ground. While they eventually were able to get the plane angled to a correct position, in panic, First Officer Igor overcorrected again. Despite efforts to return the plane back to a normal angle, in which they had succeeded, they had already lost too much speed and altitude, thus causing Flight 593 to plummet into the Kuznets Alatau mountain range, about 5 hours from Moscow. From the moment Yaroslav's son touched the controls to the death of about 75 people, a chilling 2.5 minutes passed. When the accident happened, the company Aeroflot had refuted and denied the presence of children in the cockpit. But once the black box data was recovered, they learned a chilling truth and acknowledged the existence of children in the cockpit. The black box also showed that there was no evidence of technical failure, thus showing that Yaroslav's huge mistake or even lapse of judgment caused the death of 75 people instantly.
Пошел, да? Слева идет самолет? Неверно, да? Право. Горизонт, нормально, под целом. Чуть вправо пойдет. Что-то я находил. Пошли ожидания. Да? Конечно. Ребята. Держи сторону, держи. Обратную сторону. Обратную влево. Обратную. Лево крути. Право, лево. Лево. Обратную. Лево. Влево крути. Право. Право. Ты не видишь, что ли? Право крути. Право крути. Право крути. Право. Слева земля, вот. Да, выходи. Выползай назад. Выползай назад, Эльдар. Ты видишь здесь меня? Ну ты малый! Выходи. Выходи, Эльдар. Выходи быстрее. Выходи. 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 Выходи, говорю. Полный газ, полный газ! Полный газ! Дал газ, дал! Полный газ! Дал! Кажется, полный газ! Нет! Да? Я дал газ, дал! Какая скорость? Так, так. Газ полный? Там скорость большая очень. Большая, да? Большая, конечно. Я включил. Да все, выходим, вправо. Вправо ножку. Большая скорость, убери газы. Забрал. Потихонечку. Блядь, право не крути. Скорость добавил. О, сколько сейчас будет? Все, нормально. Потихоньку на тебя, потихоньку. Потихоньку плыви.
Rest in peace to the 75 souls who lost their life that day on March 23rd, 1994. As always, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in that next one.